Well, I'm in my car and I'm waiting for an appointment that I'm early to. And I was thinking about a few things, so I made an update not too long ago, but I feel like sharing a few things. One of them is the appointment that I'm going to is EMDR, which let me see if I can remember. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was emotional release. But I knew that it had to do with the emotions and dealing with the emotions. And that's really the only thing I haven't addressed in my integrative healing with cancer is the emotional aspect. I've done a lot with the physical, and I've done some with the mental, I suppose. The mental and emotional are obviously different, but related in some ways because they're not as tangible as dealing with the physical. I think it's just so easy to deal with that, and I've done a lot within the environment and environmental impact and influence. So it's kind of weird because I met with her one time last week, and now I'm meeting again with her today, and she had to fill out the form which said what I'm struggling with, and we were having a bit of a hard time figuring out what it was because it wasn't obvious that I'm anxious or depressed in any way, and those a lot of times she sees people in those conditions. But oddly, I really have a block from a lot of my childhood, and I don't really know if there's much there, but I do. I mean, there are some things that I'm dealing with there, but I don't have any specific traumas. And she said, there's trauma with a capital T and trauma with a small t, and there have been definitely traumas in my life with a small t. And maybe a couple with a capital T, but nothing that I feel that I'm really hung up on. But I do want to look at that piece. I mean, there are some things that I know that plague me, and I know there are some relationships that are a challenge for me, and so if there's something that I'm challenged by, I want to look at it. So there may be some stuff that comes up, but I felt called to it, and I don't know why. So maybe over time I'll discover why that is, what comes of it. And she said that we could end up going there. We probably will as we deal with stuff. So that's one thing I'm doing. I just feel like sharing that because it's part of my path, and I feel very open about the things I'm doing on my path. I had a raw meat meal today. I feel amazing eating raw meat, and I already said this last time, but I had that today, and that's definitely something I'm really fervent, I guess, I'm excited about, and feel strongly about. Like it does a lot of good, and I had raw onion and raw garlic in it, and homegrown tomatoes, and so many good things. Homegrown basil. The tomatoes are homegrown as well, so I feel really fantastic about eating food from my own garden, and the meat and raw eggs just sit so well with me. It's amazing. I feel incredible from it. I also met with a doctor today, and he didn't have much to say. It was about a 2-minute meeting. He said all looks well, and he was happy to see my hair growing. I guess tomorrow there'll be somebody there who's also using a DigniCap as well, so that'll be their second person at the hospital. I'm the first one. And this is now like my uniform, this hat, which says something kind of weird on there. Doesn't really mean that much to me, but I like wearing a hat. I feel more comfortable. With it. It was just really hot, and then my scalp was getting burned, and I didn't feel good about that, and I didn't like the way it looked. So wearing the hat has been what I've been doing, and wearing my glasses. I've always really struggled with glasses and contact lenses because I don't like either of them very much. And the glasses are annoying because they slide all over the place. These are cheap ones from Zenny. They were probably $20. So they don't have those little nose thingies right there to hold it in place. And then the contacts are so drying though. I mean, wow. One thing I had no idea about chemo was how dried out I would get. It's unbelievable, actually. I mean, I've commented before that my skin has changed. It's become more thin, but everything is so dry. I mean, I don't think you can see it that much in the video, but oh man, around my eyes and my face. And this morning I woke up and my eyes were all puffy and literally look like dead skin on my eyelids. I mean, it's crazy. If I go like this on my hair, tons of like flakes basically come out because my scalp is so dry. And I mean, I eat a lot of coconut oil and I drink a ton of water. So I try to hydrate as best I can, but I live in a really dry, hot environment. So I'm very happy that this weather is changing. I don't know, it says it's 90 degrees outside right now, but our weather, and it's cooled off a lot and it's great. So anyway, I've just become so dry. My skin is really dry and I put lotion on, but I don't really think dryness comes from outside. It's not really an external situation. Anyway, like it's funny to put on when I see chapstick. I mean, I would always put like chapstick or something like that on, some sort of lip moisturizer, and really I think dryness and dehydration comes from within, so trying to address that internally makes more sense to me. The other thing, I was just chatting with somebody today on Facebook Messenger, and she's the second person that has been that's a friend of mine for a long time who in the last year I've learned got a cancer diagnosis. And maybe there are more. I don't really know. I don't know. Those are the two I can think of. But one woman friend got a breast cancer diagnosis a month or two after me, and she went right through conventional treatment. And so she got done with it before I did, although she did another typical treatment for triple positive breast cancer is AC. So I think it's carboplatin and adriamycin. And so it's a different regimen than mine. But anyway, so this other friend I was talking to today got a cervical cancer diagnosis, and I swear, I was telling my partner and his brother just how another healthy person, basically. I mean, I've yet to meet somebody who would either deem themselves unhealthy or I would deem them unhealthy. I mean, these are definitely organic food eaters, people who would consider themselves conscious, make conscious choices in their life, and live a healthy lifestyle. And there you go, another cancer diagnosis. So I really want to say that don't kid yourself in thinking that you're so healthy and you make healthy choices for yourself, because it's amazing. It's really incredible how many people I meet and those are two friends. I'm talking about other people that I've met too, that absolutely think themselves healthy. I mean, I don't know who would ever say like, oh, I'm really unhealthy. Most people don't say that about themselves anyway. But in my estimation, if somebody eats organic and drinks a lot of water and spends time in the sun, at least a little bit, gets vitamin D and exercises, lives a basically healthy lifestyle, and then they get a cancer diagnosis, it just shows that there's a lot going on. I mean, my boyfriend's partner is doing a lot of research right now about estrogen and how much estrogen there is in the packaging. I mean, in most plastics, if you eat anything that's wrapped in plastic, chances are you're getting a hit of estrogen. It's becoming a problem for men as well, and boys, that they're consuming so many things that are steeping in plastic, drinking out of plastic water bottles. I mean, there's just, the list really goes on. And then also omega 6s. Omega 6s are really a problem, and omega 3s are really, I can't speak to this like I'm a nutritionist or something, but as I understand it, the omega 6s, we're getting way too much of that, and I think that's an estrogenic problem. And things like, not avocado, but oh gosh, anyway, really basic things that you could look up that you would think that they're healthy for you. And if you have a problem with your hormones and you have too much estrogen and you're getting too much omega 6 in your body, then it's not good for you. You shouldn't be eating those things that are high in omega 6. I know one of them is like the oils. If you eat out a lot, most places use vegetable oil, and all the veggie oils are high in omega 6s. So anything like that's cooked in a cheap oil, which is most food that you get if you eat out at the Thai place or the whatever it is, so it's just been such an education and all this stuff, and it's really hard to make a 180 degree change in my life, in one's life. So it's all very, a lot of it's gradual. Some of it's obvious, like eating sugar, you just stop eating sugar. although it happens. I bought something the other day that I thought had maple syrup in it, and maple syrup is even questionable. That's on the line for sure. And it ended up it had other sugar in it, cane sugar, and it's like, I ate some of that. So it does happen, and I do just forgive myself and continue trying to make good choices instead of condemning myself. And that doesn't help anybody or anything by doing that. So you just like acknowledge, oh wow, I made a mistake, I ate something and it wasn't a good choice. Or sometimes eating out, I might eat something where I question what kind of oil they use. I only know 2 places, I think, up in Nevada City that don't use veggie oil. One of them is Pine Street Burgers, and I only know this because my partner's brother did the research on it, because he won't touch a place that doesn't use non-veggie oil, like uses olive oil. I can't remember what kind of oil they use at Pine Street, but Pine Street Burgers uses not crap veggie oil. Anyway, the thing I really wanted to say is, whatever you do to find out, to check yourself. I found out I had cancer because I felt a lump in my breast. I felt something weird. I don't know if it was a lump, but it was something that just felt different. I felt the other breast. Oh shoot, I have to go inside. The other breast didn't have it. So I happened to be at the doctor, and she recommended I get a mammogram, and I know people are against that. And there's other things you can do, but at a minimum, please self-check your breasts in the shower or while you're lying down. You need to be in a certain position to be able to feel, but I think lying down is good, or maybe both. Lying down so your breasts are in a certain shape and position so you can feel yourself and check, and then also while in the shower, because I know you need to have your arm over your head and be feeling around, and also you can feel in the lymph node area under the armpit. I didn't feel one there myself, but it's a good place to check. So anyway, those things are on my mind because, gosh, now I'm 44. These other friends are the same age as me or a couple of years older, but not by much. If you're 40 or even younger, there's so many people younger, not that I know personally, but that have gotten cancer diagnoses. Please check yourself and watch what you eat, in terms of oils. Think about that. Like, oh, you're eating something healthy like veggies and rice or something somewhere, but like, how are they cooking the veggies? So my ideal is I never eat anything out, but and I can't do that, really, is the truth. I cook a lot of meals at home and make a lot of food at home, but sometimes I get stuff out, so it's just the reality. So check that out for yourself if you're interested, and don't eat anything out of plastic or drink out of plastic as best you can, like plastic water bottles. Even if they say that they're high quality or they're BPA free, there's another one, BSA free, I think. It's just not a good idea. It's what I've come to find out. So anyway, I gotta go into my appointment, and I just felt like sharing that because I'm in the front line, I'm in the trenches here, and I knew nothing about cancer before I got a cancer diagnosis, like zero. I really did not have to deal with this at all. So I've had to learn a lot, and I'm coming up on a year since my diagnosis was October 22nd. So I want to pass it along if you're listening or care and whatever. If it makes a difference for somebody, then it's worth it to me to take the time. So there you have it. Hope you're having a great day, and thanks for being with me.